So, Ducks, you had your best season, your best chance to win the national title in quite a bit, and yet, when it matters most, you still can't beat us. Both times we've beaten you when it matters most, it's been by 20 plus points. 2-0 against you in the college football playoffs, including the 2014 national championship, and now, similar score, just a point less for Ohio State and a point more for Oregon. 41-21 the final. Ohio State gets it done pretty easily. I was, very confident coming into this game, but I think every Buckeye fan was nervous. If you're not nervous, I don't know how you can call yourself a Buckeye fan. I was definitely nervous coming into this game. Oregon, they've proven all year that they're a very good team. But even when, you're at your best, you can't beat us. And that's just how it's going to be. I know it may not be the biggest sample size in the world, but we just advanced to the Cotton Bowl. Like I said, Oregon was running their mouth. How is Ohio State favored to win this game? We're better in every skill position. Are you better on the scoreboard, though? I fear not. What a win for the Ohio State Buckeyes, man. We are one win away from the national championship, and we advanced to the Cotton Bowl. What a freaking win. I did not expect this. I won't lie to you. I can sit here and tell you, oh, we're so much better than Oregon. Let's go. I told you guys so. No, I didn't tell you guys so because I predicted 31-27. If you look at the preview that I made, I predicted 31-27. I was not, sure how they would start because I knew that the start of the game would be the tone setter. But, I'd say they started pretty well. A 40-yard touchdown to Jeremiah Smith, who just had a monster first quarter. And speaking of that, let's get into it. The explosive first half that they had, 34 straight points to open the game, 34-0. They scored on the last second touchdown, out of the to end the half. And, they converted the two to make it 34-8. They did double dip on us. They scored a touchdown out of the half as well to make it 34-15. So there was a point where they were only down 19. But how about Will Howard, man? And the offensive line, shout out to them. They gave him plenty of time to throw. And at some point, he was just in such a good rhythm that you just knew he was going to find, one of his guys downfield. Treveyon Henderson, monster game. Quinshawn Jenkins, monster game. Jeremiah Smith, monster game. I'm just so proud of everybody on this team, and especially Will Howard and Jeremiah Smith. This dude he was on pace to have like a 400-yard game. He is easily the offensive MVP. Love Will Howard. Love the performance that he had today. He's showing that he's he's the real dude for this team. But on the defensive side, man, huge shout out to two names. Defensive MVP for me is Cody Simon. 11 tackles, had a couple sacks as well, and 3 tackles for loss. Easily wins Defensive Player of the Year. But Jack Sawyer, man, he was on a mission. He was after Dillon Gabriel all night. And it was just a good sight to see. Taking advantage of that Oregon's offensive line and then, trying to minimize the targets too. I thought Caleb Downs did a good job. Denzel Burke, huge shout out to him, man. What a bounce back game he had. He was very, 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 very heavily criticized, and rightfully so, in the first meeting between Ohio State and Oregon. But he came out, man, and he played his living tail off. He just, the thing with the Oregon offense is they're still going to get theirs. At that point, you have to expect it because that's just how great they are. And I say the same thing about us. Regardless of how good defense, they may play, they're still going to work for their yardage because of how good, the defense really is. But they're still going to get their stats. That's just how it goes. But, yeah, I'm just so proud of everybody on this team. But these were the things that really stuck out to me. And, I was shocked the way that not that they opened with a touchdown, but I was shocked that they just kept their foot on the gas. Because I was scared that the defense was going to allow them back into it, even with the top-rated defense in the country. It didn't register with me like, okay, we actually got this. Until it was about, 24-0. Because I really felt like, when it was 17-0, I was still like, okay, well, I was disappointed we didn't get that third touchdown. Just because I wanted to add a little bit of reassurance. Because, for an Ohio State fan, I'm not saying this game gave me those vibes, but I feel like everybody has 2019 Clemson, 16-0. I know, totally different roster and everything, but the 16-0 playoff game still haunts many of us Buckeye fans. And, we haven't really been in the situation where we've really needed to fear something like that. But, when it's 17-0, occasionally you get those flashbacks. And also, being a Bengals fan in the NFL doesn't really help because of all the heartbreak that we've had. So, some of that kind of rubs on the Buckeyes. But at the end of the day, I'm always more confident with the Buckeyes just because, like, they seem to play like a complete game. And I got to give a huge shout out to Ryan Day as well. He coached his living tail off with his team, and, the team was ready to play. And that, I give a lot of flack to Zach Taylor and, last year even David Bell, because the Bengals and Reds, they just did not seem ready to play in some of those games. The Reds more so, and then the Bengals at the beginning of the year. I gave a lot of criticism to the coaches because that's just having your team prepared is just important to open the season, especially. So, in a playoff game against the number one team in the country, I think he had his guys ready, and that's a huge testament to how he prepared for this game and how he brought his guys. So huge shout out to Ryan Day, and you get to see players perform on the field. You don't get to see coaches perform, but he definitely deserved it. And all you Kiss, Ohio State haters that are like, oh, he saved his job, thank you for winning, kiss my ass. We're 1 win away from the national title. We're 2 wins away from a national championship. Let's just get these 2 wins, man. I'm really looking forward to a national title, hopefully. And, we got a big test coming up this weekend, but I'm so happy. But anyway, continuing on with this game recap, the defense came to play, like I said. Jack Sawyer had an amazing, amazing, amazing game as well. They both had 2 sacks, Cody Simon and Jack Sawyer. Cody Simon had 3 tackles for loss, like I said, but 7 total sacks for the Ohio State Buckeyes against Oregon, and Dillon Gabriel just was running for his life out there. He made something happen with his legs, but overall, Ohio State was just able to take advantage of, what they had given to them, that offensive line and everything. So, Oregon, they were not able to get the run game going at all. They had negative 23 total rushing yards. And, they were forced to just pass. And then at some point, Ohio State just knew what they were doing. So they were able to just read it and, bat balls down and everything. They just kind of were able to read Dillon Gabriel. And, they got 7 sacks, like I said, and he threw the ball 41 times. They forced him to get it out of his hands. And they just kept making him work, and he made some good throws, I will say that, especially on 3rd and long. But overall, I thought Ohio State's defense, man, they just came ready to play, and it gave me a lot of confidence, going into, halftime and then the 3rd quarter, even when they made their little, double dip run. I felt good, the defense, and even when they got the ball back, I was like, okay, well, we got to stop here. We're feeling good. We got to stop. So clutch stops have always been key for us, and, they really made life hell out there for Dillon Gabriel. So proud of this defense, man, and, let's just keep it going, in these next 2 games. But anyway, I got to say, Will Howard, as I said, it's his 3rd 300-plus yard game of the season. Treveyon Henderson as well. He had 94 rushing yards, almost got to 100. He got 2 touchdowns on 8 different carries. He was spectacular today. Even that long run that made it 31-0, he was spectacular. Lots of credit to him. And then the big play threat, Ohio State has been monstrous with the big play threat. They have had 62 explosive counting plays this entire season, so that's also a big plus for this Buckeyes team. And, just looking at this team from a roster standpoint, no question they're one of the best. And, they're finally starting to show it. And I think everybody's saying the same thing. That Michigan game that they had, I feel like that kind of woke them up a little bit. So hopefully that, propels them to just 2 more wins, man. Just 2 more wins. And then we're going to look at that Michigan game as like, really, that really set us off. It can be one of those things where I, as a Cincinnati Bengals fan, I look at 2022 that same way. We got crapped on by the Cleveland Browns in Week 8. It was 32-13 or something like that. After that, they rattled off 10 straight wins, went to the AFC Championship game, rather. So if that game, which was horrific for us Ohio State fans, and losing to Michigan is just, it's a taste that you never want. But, if that sets us off, we can only look at it in a positive manner, right? You wouldn't expect this if we had maybe beaten Michigan, because Ohio State maybe was taken a little lightly. And they seem to have their head in the game. And as far as the tone, guys, I really thought that they just stifled Oregon, and they just never recovered. Oregon was never able to kind of get a rhythm going as well, just because they knew, like, okay, this offense is rolling right now. We're going to have to keep up. And they were just not able to, because the defense kept them on their toes, and they just were not able to take advantage of whatever was thrown. Denzel Burke, they had their way against him, on October 12th when they beat us. So they were just not able to get it going. And everybody was on their A game today, man. I can't really say I have much complaints right now. Was there a moment where some Buckeye fans, I'm sure, were like a little bit concerned, like about the double dip? I'm sure, but other than that, they just never felt that they were in the game. I mean, it always just felt like Ohio State's offense is gonna march down the field and everything. So just setting the tone early was just important for us, and just I'm very happy with how the team performed. But next up, guys, we got the Texas Longhorns on January 10th, and our offense is peaking at the right time, and our this opponent that we're playing, I mean, they're the nation's top scoring defense. They have 95 explosive plays this entire season, and I think it's going to be a great matchup. Arguably a tougher matchup than Oregon, because Texas is a good team. They coming off an overtime battle against ACU rather, and yeah, they just seem ready to go. They seem like a very driven team. Quinn Ewers seems like a very driven quarterback against his former team. That's going to be interesting. I definitely don't think it'll be like a blowout like it was like Oregon versus us, but it'll definitely be like something that it'll be looked at as a quote unquote easier challenge for Ohio State. Like I just want to make sure like we don't approach it with lightly. I don't think we will, because I think that we still have like a chip on our shoulder and just some motivation from that Michigan game. But if that makes sense, I feel like it'll be a closer game, but it won't be looked at as the same way, because Oregon was looked at as just very close, favorites, along with us. I mean, we were like essentially we were co-favorites. I mean, Ohio State was favored by 1.5, but everybody was like, oh, Oregon will, prove them wrong and whatever. There's no reason they should be ranked below. So that's just how I look at it. I mean, I don't remember the last time someone was favored over the number one team in the country. So I feel like if we can approach it just the same way that we did this game, I think that we'll be fine. I think that we can beat this team. I have all the respect in the world for Texas Longhorns, man, but I still feel like we can beat this team, and I'm confident against anybody pretty much. So it's not a slight on Texas or anything. And yeah, I look at it more so just like if we come into this game just because the thing with winning, sometimes it will take all drainage of energy from you, and especially when you give it your all like they did against a team like Oregon. It's like, yeah, it's confidence building, but it can also be looked at as like, dang, we beat this team, so you might be high off the adrenaline and whatnot. So I just approach this game the same way as you did last week, and it'll be a great matchup, man. I'm looking forward to it. 9 days. I will have the preview out for this very soon, next Friday, and I can't wait to watch this game. It's going to be a really fun game. But as for this one, guys, I am very, very proud of this team. Go Bucks. They showed up today as they should have against the number one team, and they just took down the Ducks. So the Ducks, you guys are still sitting at 0 national championships despite all your great teams that you've had. It hasn't resulted in much. And, 2 of those losses have been at the hands of us. But anyway, good game to you guys. Yeah, that's all I got to say. You guys have a great one. And Tennessee fans and whoever out there, you guys were talking about, oh, we're all huge Ducks fans today because we just don't like Ohio State. Be Longhorn fans next week. Please, I'm begging you. OHIO. Let's go Bucks.